Welcome everybody to Kleschka Picks, week number 15. The football season is slowly coming to an end. Let's get started with the Thursday game. Actually, before I start with that, let me tell you my record. 125-81 on the season, so still looking good. Thursday game is the Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs got a win last week, and so did the Chargers. So this could very well be for the division. If the Chargers can beat the Chiefs, then it would be both of them having 3 losses, and then I think Kansas City would still have the division because they beat the Chargers earlier in the year. But Los Angeles, watch out for them. The Chargers have weapons. Keenan Allen, Phillip Rivers is having a very good season. And the Chiefs, they barely won last week against the Ravens. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a very competitive game. I still see the Chiefs coming out on top, just barely, 27-24. We have some Saturday games this week. That's right, Saturday football. Doesn't happen very often. First we have the Jets and the Texans. The Jets got a win last week, and the Texans lost to the Colts. They were both close games. However, this week, I think the Texans are the better team. I think they have way more talent with DeAndre Hopkins. Lamar Miller's finally coming into, his prime, I would assume. And then Deshaun Watson, great quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins, I probably said those names already, but whatever. They have more talent than the Jets do, in my opinion. So I think the Texans will beat the Jets 30-14. The Browns and the Broncos. The Broncos lost to the 49ers, and the Browns beat the Panthers. The Browns, you guys, you're looking up. You keep adding talent to that team with Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry, then I think the future for the Browns is finally looking bright. You guys are not going to get the #1 pick probably for the first time in who knows how long. It just seems like the Browns are always in that spot. But the Broncos, yeah, they had this confidence going for them because they were beating teams nobody would think they would beat. And the Browns, they've been doing that too, and I think that's going to be the same thing for the Browns this week. I think a lot of people think the Broncos are going to win, but I think the Browns are going to win. They're looking impressive. They're showing confidence that they can win with the team they have. So I think the Browns will beat the Broncos 23-20. Bears and Packers. Packers got a win last week, and the Bears beat the Rams. Their defense showed up and didn't allow a touchdown to the Rams. It was a very good game, very defensive, and I think the Bears are for real. When you're beating teams like the Rams, and the Packers have been struggling all season long, basically, I think the Bears are going to come out on top over the Packers. I think this defense is going to give Aaron Rodgers a hard time, and I think the offense is going to do a good enough job to get them the victory. So I think the Bears are going to win 24-17. Lions and Bills. Lions got a win last week, and the Bills lost. Pretty simple one here. I'm going to get straight to the point. Both of these teams do not have playoff hopes, so I think the Lions are going to win 27-13. The Ravens and the Buccaneers. The Ravens almost beat the Chiefs. They, gave them a hard-fought battle, but they came out on the losing end. Then we had the Buccaneers who lost to the Saints, which allowed the Saints to clinch the division. Now, I had someone in the comments say last week, "Oh, I'm going to unsubscribe because if you don't pick the Buccaneers, I swear." Well, guess what? I'm sorry, but I'm just being realistic. Guys, I don't hate teams unless it's the Patriots. But you guys know I pick the Patriots pretty dang often because I know the Patriots are good. I'm realistic. I'm going to pick the team who I actually think is going to win. I'm not hating on anyone's team, okay? I just want to get that out of the way. Now, I think the Buccaneers are not going to win this game. The Ravens are very good defensively. Lamar Jackson has been very good since he came in for the Ravens, and I think that's going to continue. Sorry, that's just what I see happening, and I think the Ravens are going to win 27-23. Battle of the Birds, the Falcons and the Cardinals. Both of these birds lost last week, and I think the Falcons are going to win this one. I think they have a lot more talent. Julio Jones is having another 1,000+ yard season because he's Julio Jones. Matt Ryan is definitely not the MVP he was a couple of years ago, but you can't be like that every single year. But he's definitely an higher, above average quarterback. So I think he will get the job done against a Cardinals team who's young and still learning. So I think the Falcons will come out on top 27-17. Raiders and Bengals. The Raiders shocked everybody last week by beating the Steelers. They could have tied it and taken it to overtime, but then Chris Boswell, had a slip up, literally, and missed the field goal. Oh my God, the Steelers, this seems like they have so much bad luck this season, and they better watch out, because if they keep playing like this, and let's say the Ravens win a couple games, the Ravens could kick them out of that top spot in the division. So they better be careful. And the Bengals, you know, it's tough for them right now. Andy Dalton on IR, AJ Green's not playing for the rest of the season, so they are injured, and I don't see them getting the victory over the Raiders. I think the Raiders will win 21-10. Giants and Titans. Titans, oh my goodness, Derrick Henry had a huge day last week. He had 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards. He just went absolutely ridiculous on Thursday Night Football. And the Giants, they put up a lot of points against a very, very, very injured Redskins team. So not a very impressive team to put up those kind of points against, but still a great victory for the Giants. And Saquon Barkley is having a great season, and he showed it off even more in that game, and I think he's going to do it again in this game. I think the Giants are going to beat the Titans. Both running backs having good games last week, and I think that might happen again. But I think the Giants are going to beat the Titans 31-27. Dolphins and Vikings. My Seahawks played the Vikings last week, and our defense showed up. Bobby Wagner, give him Defensive Player of the Year, please. That has a little bias in it, but I'm gonna root for my players, all right? So yeah, and the Miami Miracle, oh my goodness, taking down the Patriots, which always puts a smile on my face. So thank you, Dolphins. And yeah, that was just nuts. It was a pass. Then we had one lateral, then another lateral to Kenyon Drake, and then Kenyon Drake took it to the house, running past a defensive Rob Gronkowski. And wow, last play of the game, and that won it. Yeah, Kenyon Drake, you'll definitely be in the thumbnail. You'll be one of the players in the thumbnail. So yeah, Miami Miracle, that was absolutely nuts. Vikings just could not get it together against the Seahawks, and we almost shut them out. So I think how Miami's riding right now and how much Minnesota's struggling, and they just fired their offensive coordinator, I think it's going downhill for Minnesota. So I think the Dolphins actually have a shot to beat the Vikings this week, 24-20. Jaguars and Redskins. Redskins are so injured. And Mark Sanchez is their quarterback right now. So that must not be fun at all. Then we have the Jaguars, who have had a rocky season as well, but playing against this Redskins team, I think they can find a victory, and I think they will beat the Redskins 30-10. Cowboys and Colts. Colts got the win last week, and the Cowboys got the win last week too, in overtime off a tipped pass by a defender and then into Amari Cooper's hands, and he just took it for the game-winning touchdown. It was a crazy week in football last week. Like I said, Derrick Henry, the Miami Miracle, and then this Amari Cooper touchdown, and the game Amari Cooper just had in general. Over 200 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns, which feels really good when you have him on your fantasy team, just saying. Okay, so I think the Cowboys, they're looking impressive as the season is concluding. And the Colts are too, but I think the Cowboys are riding such a hot streak since they got Amari Cooper. Ezekiel Elliott is picking it up in productivity, so I think the Cowboys are going to keep riding on their freaking horses and ride off to playoffs and beat the Colts 34-27. Seahawks and the 49ers. My Seahawks. Last time we played the 49ers, we absolutely destroyed them. That was in Seattle. Now we're going to be in San Francisco, but I don't think that'll play a huge change because I just think we're a way more talented team than the 49ers this season, and we've shown it. We have proof. So I think we're going to use our run game, and I think Russell Wilson that's going to allow Russell Wilson to be very active and get those touchdowns. So I think Seattle's going to come out on top, 38-17. Patriots and Steelers. Patriots, they were the victims of the Miami Miracle, and it makes me so happy. And then we have the Steelers, who, they were so sad when the Raiders just upset them. The Steelers, you got to get it together, guys. You are throwing away your playoff shots. Now, the Patriots are the Patriots, and when you're led by Tom Brady, you always have a chance. So I think that's going to be the case with the way the Steelers are going, and things just don't look good for them. And Tom Brady's had not a Tom Brady season, but he's still Tom Brady, so I think the Patriots will win 30-24. Eagles and Rams. Eagles, they were the victims of that tipped pass that Amari Cooper caught and took for the game-winning touchdown. Then we have the Rams, who just could not find anything on offense when they played the Bears last week, and it was a terrible display of football for that team. I think they'll get it back together this week, though. The Eagles, they've been up and down all season too. Carson Wentz has had an up and down season. So I think the Rams are going to rebound and show that they are still, major players when it's going to come down to playoffs. and I think they'll beat the Eagles 34-20. Saints and Panthers. Panthers desperately need this win if they want to have any playoff hopes. They lost last week to the Browns. The Saints, they won against the Buccaneers. Drew Brees and the Saints are looking like a #1 team. Drew Brees looking like an MVP candidate along with Patrick Mahomes and Todd Gurley and others. But I think that's going to continue. I don't know why I said but. I think it's going to continue. I don't think the Panthers are going to beat the Saints. The Saints are such a dominant team this year, and they're really looking confident going into the playoffs with these last few weeks. So I think Drew Brees is going to lead the Saints past the Panthers 31-27. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching Week 15 Kleschka Picks. If you made it to the end, thank you so much, and best of luck to everyone's teams going forward. I will see you next week in Week 16.